Welcome to my garden. Today we're going to start off with something a little different. I don't normally do these intros where I'm standing in front of the camera, but today I'm going to do it. We're going to talk about a few things that are kind of interesting. First, I shot one of my little segments for Reamend. I finally did it where I was like, hey, I'm going to mix this stuff on camera, feed it on camera, show you what's going on. So I did it, and then somehow when I downloaded the video, it was all in slow motion for the one part of it. And so it took this like 2-minute segment and turned it into a 10-minute segment, and I couldn't figure out how to put it back into regular speed, so that one just got deleted. We're just gonna say it got deleted, didn't make it in the video. So you're gonna see on Friday night I did a feeding. This is Monday morning. You're gonna see like there's a part where you're gonna be like, oh, he just skipped over some stuff. I thought I'd just go over it really quick now. Do some other quick announcements before I get started with the rest of the video. But yeah, things are going well. That was a little oopsie. I'm not sure exactly what happened. I'm kind of new to this whole thing. So we'll get it fixed, no big deal. All you missed out on was watching me dump the compost and the ingredients together. What I used was Ole Mountain Fish Compost, my own worm castings, Power Bloom, and Craft Blend. And then we watered it in with a little horticultural coconut water with a little root rise biofos and a tiny bit of Build Bloom. And you'll see that in the video. Not a big deal. The coconut water is a new thing for me. One other new thing I have coming is some banana ferment. I thought we'd give that a try. Just came out from Growing Organic. It's their freshest one, so I thought, why not? Let's give it a go. We like ferments. Miles from Fermented Plant Extracts also makes some good stuff, so we're going to check out his stuff next. I really like Miles' vibe, so we're going to go over there and see what he's got going on, just for fun. So we'll check it out. And then last bit of news, we're going to do the Nightowl Seed to Stone Growoff. It's Autoflowers, so they're going to go in the veg tent. Contest starts on March 8th. It's going to be fun, so we're just going to give it a try. Haven't done anything like that before. The Nightowl contest, Seed to Stone, is going to get its own YouTube series, so we'll have a separate day where those videos come out, besides Monday where these come out. And that's it. That's quick little announcements. You'll notice the small spot in the video where I made my oopsie, and other than that, everything's going great. So let's get a look in the tent. And then next week, we'll have a couple episodes probably, because the contest for germination starts this weekend on March 8th. So we'll be right there. All right, everybody, Brad here, Arizona Grows. Let's get this video started. Hey everybody, Brad here from Arizona Grows. Be doing a quick feeding tonight, and I always forget to record this because tonight is Friday night, and normally I film my videos on Monday, but today I need to get a top feeding done. So I'm going to go in and do it. I am going to be feeding several things. Gaia Green, the Power Bloom, the Build Bloom, Craft Blend, and the coconut. And then we're going to be mixing those with the Build Bloom and the coconut. We'll be going just in our water to feed in. And then the Power Bloom, Craft Blend, some of my own worm castings, and this Ole Mountain compost are going to go in to the top feed for the plants that are in the fabric pots. And then the ones that are not in the fabric pots are just going to get Power Bloom, Craft Blend, and the tiniest bit of worm castings just to kind of mix it all together. So I thought I'd mix up those two different things really quick and just show them. I've moved this Ole Mountain into this old bag of Build-A-Flower that I had after I opened it, but I thought you might want to check this out. This Ole Mountain, let me get out of the light. Look how rich this stuff is. I mean, that's just compost. Isn't that crazy? Solid black and delicious. Alright, so I'm going to get my tripod set up, and we're going to mix this stuff up. So give me a second, and I'll set up my little station on the Nightowl and we'll get going. Alright everybody, I've got my same little bucket that I had when we mixed it, Most of this is going to go on the 30 gallon and the tray to grow in the corner. I thought I'd just show you a quick feed on this 30 gallon. Let's take a look though first and see if maybe we have any worms or anything. Let's see what's going on. This is ready for a watering, but look at right here already. There's a guy right up here in the top. So we have worms right up here. Here's another guy right up here in the top. So they're gonna love this top feed that's going down right now. So let's get in there. Just show you the really easiest way to do it. I'm grabbing a scoop of it right now. For this, I'm giving this one a whole bucket, and I'm just putting it on there, right? And then what we're gonna do is just wiggle this in, and you'll see it goes right down into the top. That's all we're doing right now. I'm just gonna wiggle this in. Sorry if I'm covering up the camera with my shirt, just trying to make sure we get this done. This is my first time kind of doing this on camera, so we'll figure out the angles and kind of work on stuff from there. But that's it. Look, it's in there now. And then what I'm gonna do is I'll show you in a second. We're gonna go in and I'm gonna put on the, we'll make our chapin with a little bit of the Build-A-Bloom and the coconut water, the horticultural coconut, and we'll water everything in. But first I'm going to do these other two pots, and then I'm going to show you how I top dress the smaller tray to grows in the back. So, or I mean the smaller easy to grows in the back. The tray to grows huge. So we'll go from there. All right, everybody, we'll be back in a minute. All right, we're back with the last part. Now I did everything with its top feed of dry amendments. The easy to grows, the smaller pots in the back because they were already full. Only one thing of the Ole Mountain and one thing of worm castings, same amount of Craft Blend and Gaia Green Power Bloom. That extra Power Bloom and Craft Blend will serve them well as they're going into flower. I just wiggled it in the top, same way I did with the bigger plants, and now we're going to get this ready for our chapin. First thing we're going to do is a little Build-A-Bloom. We're not going to do a lot because we just did a top feed, right? So this is going to be a little bit. So we're going to do about half a teaspoon. That's it. We don't need to do any more. We're not trying to set the world on fire, you know. We just want to make sure we get a little bit of extra instant action for our girls because we want to make sure they're happy. And then we're going to do the same thing with this coconut. Half a teaspoon. We're in a gallon and a half of water, so we're not trying to do a lot again. About a gallon and a half in the chapin. It's about half full. Next up, we're going to do some of the Rootwise Biophos to help unlock all that phosphorus we put in. Same thing we're going to do. That's a heaping quarter teaspoon. We'll call that half a teaspoon. And then the last thing, just because we're in the smaller pots and we want to get all that biology kicked off with the worm castings, I'm going to throw in just a tiny, tiny splash of the biocatalyst. And then in this one, there's still a little Q in here from the last time we did a watering. A tiny bit of the big 6 probably left over. So I'm not going to add anything else there. I'm going to mix this up off camera, shake it, you know, do the thing, and then I'll turn around and water it, and we'll get some footage of that. All right, we're back for the last part of this. Got the chapin pumped up. All of our food is already in here in the dry amendment top dress, and this that we're watering right now is what we just put together. A little bit of the biocatalyst. We have the Build-A-Bloom, the Biophos, and the horticultural coconut, which is basically
coconut water turned into powder, which is kind of cool, and then you just re-liquefy it with water. This one's gonna get a pretty big watering. It's been, you know, I don't know, since we did that last video. What was that, Monday? No, I shot it early because my wife's birthday was on Monday, so we shot that video on Sunday. Haven't watered since Sunday, so this is gonna need a little extra. And it was still kind of cool, even though it was getting dry at the top. It was neat to see all the worms still up there eating, even though, you know, it's not perfect conditions for them. They're going to be really happy in there. Now they're going to have more food, which is always awesome. And then on top of that extra food, I mean, they're getting this delicious water and the moisture. Moisture is what helps them stay big. They get bigger in wetter climates, and they can actually process more food, you know, up to a point. You get too moist, and then of course they die and have problems and try to escape. I've never had any of my worms try to escape. They seem pretty happy in here and in my worm bins, which is good, because if they ever escaped and tried to crawl around the house, my wife would freak out. And that would not be a fun day. I don't think I'd be allowed to have my worm bin anymore, at least not inside. So this is a pretty good deep watering. I don't have a lot, you know, I got to spread this on the other plants, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what was going on. This 30 gallons been the easiest to manage of the fabric pots I've ever done in my life. So Jeremy's on to something when he keeps saying go bigger. It's easier when you go bigger. It's been easier. I mean, let's just take a look at the plant in there. Look at this baby. She's just killing it. So we'll get our footage on Monday for the video, and you'll get to see how this top feed has progressed with all these plants. But this is where we're at right now, Friday night. So we'll get all this footage in here. I'm super excited. This is the Neon Sunshine, the one that smells like Z-Skittles. This one, it's my favorite terps. Like, it's gonna be awesome. Trash Panda's killing it. Everything in here looks really good. So I'll just put the camera down now, finish this watering, and we'll get the real video going on Monday. All right, everybody, happy Friday. And we're back. All right, everybody, we're back in the garden. As you can tell, things are going on in here this week. From last week, we came in, there wasn't a lot of action, you know, everything was still kind of small. Now we've got nugs. We've got nugs, and we've started to figure out what these little hidden plants are that we didn't know. Now we know. Super cool. You might hear the AC Infinity fan in the back still clicking. Update on that, I reached out to them, and they were super cool. It was still under warranty. They sent me out a new one. Done deal. It was a super easy process. The lady I worked with, her name was Ashley. She just got it done. Like, you know, you have to send in some stuff. I had to do receipts and do some other things, you know, to prove that I actually bought it and didn't just buy some used one, trying to return it or whatever. Everything worked out. It was really cool. So that's new. So next week, you should not hear the clicking noise anymore in the video if you're listening to the camera by the fan. They sent us a new one. And then in other news, you know, we're sponsored by MarsHydro for the clip fans. Their clip fan has been working perfect, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, this entire grow. It's up in the corner, hasn't had any problems, hasn't made any noises, it's rolling. And we're in the MarsHydro 5x5 under the TS 3000 light. It's a 450 watt light. The only issue I have with it is I like the bar style lights that give you a little bit more coverage. Now that I have one in the 4x4, I don't want to say there's a major difference, but it's like this light, underneath the light is obviously where you're getting the most bang for your buck. And then anything off on the side is getting less. And I think with the bar style lights, why each bar does less, you're getting a more uniform light distribution across the entire canopy, and I think that's pretty cool. So at some point, we'll be looking to upgrade our light in this tent. But you know what? We don't have to put any importance on that or do it super quick, because look
at these. They look great, and we're not super worried about it. The light's at about 75% right now, so we're only pulling 300 and something watts from the wall. I think my electric bill this month with both tents going and everything, you know, we're not running a lot of AC. The weather's pretty perfect in Phoenix right now. I think our last electric bill was $120 for the month. So $120 for the month, and I have this light going, 4x4 going, all the fans, Canatrol plugged in, water pump sometimes on the pump. I got a window AC, which isn't going off very much right now. You can hear it just kind of started in the background behind me. It's just doing a cycle, you know, it doesn't have the temperature, but it's just cycling air right now. I mean, come on guys, we're growing all the 100, and that's all our regular electric in there too, dishwasher, washer and dryer, everything else, $120 a month, and we're growing this. So I think when people talk about why do you grow, what are you getting into growing, I do it because it saves me a ton of money and I love it. Being in the garden has just added so much to my life. It's such a, I don't know, calming influence, changing the way I eat food, because I think about what I do for my plants and now I think about it for myself. So it's changing the way I eat. Mental health, I come in here and this is where I come to decompress. Love the garden. So just things to think about, but the garden's looking super great. I'm loving it. Let's get in and take a look, maybe talk about some things, and we'll then we'll head over to the veg tent and wrap it up. Man, I'm so happy with the way this is turning out, and we'll take a close up of these trash pandas. They're starting to get some cool little colors as they're turning into buds, which is super neat. Let's take a look around. All right, we are back in the MarsHydro 5x5. And look at this trash panda. Oh my, as I hit the tent coming in, super fancy, you know? We're all about the high quality stuff here on Arizona Grows. The trash panda, super cool. Let's see if we can get in there. You're starting to see some of the colors come in on these, which is really neat, you know? And they're all big nugs. They're starting to stack in here. I think these are gonna turn into nice, you know, golf ball sized little nugs. I mean, they're just looking happy. This one in the back, I only tied up because it was leaning way out over the other plants. And I think the reason it was happening is it was actually getting hit by the MarsHydro fan, and it was just going whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And so that took a little benefit out of it, and the stem got bent in a weird way. So I tied it up. I didn't want it leaning on this plant in the back. This plant's funny in the back because this is a neon sunshine. I can tell just by the way the buds are forming. But this one is the one that smells like all gas. So it's kind of funny. It smells like all gas. It's got the ugliest little nugs. Did last time when we took the clone. But they smoke phenomenal. And then if you come in over here, this is the other neon sunshine. Getting blown all around on the camera. This one is the one that smells like Z-Skittles, and it's the big boy. You know, look at all that plant. That's a lot of plant. So I'm really happy. So oddly enough, out of all the stuff that we did, we ended up with the two neon sunshines in the same pot in the Trader Grow, which is super cool. And then obviously the trash pandas over here stealing the show. Looks like it's also going to be the first one to finish. So that'll be interesting, you know. It'll be nice. We can get that in the Canatrol with the other stuff. I'm pretty sure this little one in the 10-gallon that didn't do as well is a lemon cherry pie. We did have one last time that was smaller and one that was bigger, even though they were in the 3.9-gallon easy to grows. And so pretty sure that's what that is there. And then I'm pretty sure this is the other lemon cherry pie, and it's just killing it in the 30-gallon. And let's get in here. I mean, we're in nugs now. Like, there's no messing around anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going straight to Nuggy Town, just like Andy Reid. But this thing is looking good.
And then we have the Georgia pie over here. It's just kind of doing its thing in the back. And let's flip around the tent. Here's our flexi tank. It's feeding both of our tents right now. I had this out from the contest starting on the 8th. Registration's closed. I talked about it last week, I think, for a brief second, but registration's closed now. We got in like 3 days before it closed. Just decided, even though we don't have room in the veg tent, it's a great way to support DAS, so we're just going to do it. And then this is the Pop Scotty over here. In the back right here, this is the Pop Scotty. It's just a huge plant, you know. Smashed in the back corner, didn't get as big as the Trash Panda, but I think if it was in the center where the Trash Panda was, it'd be even bigger. And then this is the Georgia pie. This plant was probably the least happy out of all the plants in my auto pots. Not exactly sure why. I mean, it's not like it did bad. We went up to 7 leaves on the fan leaves while I was going, you know. But it definitely was not happy with something. No real smell yet, but you can see the trikes are coming in. They're even over on the stem right here. You can see them. That's pretty cool. So, not a bad plant. And then in the back, I'm pretty sure this one here that we have also smashed in the back is the Black Patronus from Exotic. So that'll be a good plant. But this Trash Panda just stole the show. I mean, it's the one that's right under the light, so it's expected, and it's going to get the deepest penetration down in. But just look at it. It's just like every little top came out great. It's right under the TS3000, the old school light that we're rocking. Such a good light, though, guys. If you're on a budget, I feel like I've seen this light down to like $200 sometimes, $250. It's a 450 watt light. And if you can pick that up, if you have like a 4x4 or a 5x5 and you need something that's not going to break the bank, that gets the job done, is going to put out some great flower, it's a good light. I've been using it for over a year. You know, I finally started playing around with it, turning it up, dialing it in a little bit more. Look at these plants. They're just loving it, man. So we'll come back in. This little leaf got a little windy in here. And there was a little bit of, I think I overwatered a little bit, just for a second. So they kind of got a funky little curl to them. They got twisted in their top feed. And they're not using as many nutrients right now, you know, because they're almost done. But now, I have everything in there that I want. The only other thing we're going to add for the rest of this grow, besides water and maybe a little recharge or root-wise, is just the banana ferment when it comes. We have our first ferment ever coming, and we're going to check that out. But otherwise, that's it. Everything else is just looking great. So I'm really excited, everybody. This has been a great grow. Hope you've all enjoyed watching it. It's probably got another month left. So we'll start planning out the next one. I reached out to Dark Horse at Seed Bazaar to see if they wanted to maybe do a little collaboration on a clone thing. I don't know if they will. I'm a pretty small channel. It'd be cool if they did. If they don't, at some point in the future, we might just get one from them just to support Jason and the crew over there. They've been really cool, and their show, Dark Horse Live on YouTube's been really fun. So that's it. We'll take a look around the veg tent, but that's it for this tent. Everything is just looking great, man. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Welcome back. Arizona Grows. We're doing the DWC here, the MarsHydro DWC kit in this 4x4 veg tent. And just look at these look at these plants. Look at these things. They're just crazy big. This one, not so much. You know, the problem that I had with this one is I started drastically underfeeding it. You know, I thought because my tap water comes out like 480 ppm. Isn't that nuts? I mean, you're almost at a 0.5. You know, you're almost at a 1, because 500's on the 1 scale. So you're at a 500, you know, before you even add nutrients. That's just wild. And you imagine they expect people to drink that stuff. I almost feel bad showering in it. But we don't drink it, so there's that. But I was feeding this one, you know, and what it needed was normal food on top of that 480, and I was just underfeeding it for the longest time. And now, both of these plants over the last 2 weeks, they've been getting 1800 ppm, which is crazy, which, you know, for them is really like 1400, which is on the high side. We'll start dialing that back in the next week or so, but they just went through the biggest part of their stretch and just cruised through it. And this one, the one that was underfed, it's either Vanilla Fizz or 91 Grapes, you know, vice versa. I don't remember, but it's bouncing back hard. If you can remember, a couple weeks ago, these leaves were looking yellow in between. They weren't looking good. I almost felt bad doing the big defoliation that I did on it because I wasn't sure it could take it. But it did take it, and everything worked out great. And then this plant, I don't remember if I showed what it looked like with the defoliation done last week or if I did it after that I did. I just did another one last night. I probably pulled off like 25 leaves off of this sucker just to start opening up, you know, stuff like this in here. And man, still, you almost can't even tell. It's just such a big plant. And then look, this is a 4x4 tent. So look how much room it takes up in the tent. Like, that plant's not messing around. Not at all. And then if we come over here, we have Strawberry Milk and Cookies Remix. I started this one before I knew about the Growoff. So interesting. So we're gonna get a little preview. The Growoff is Strawberry Milk and Cookie Remix. I ordered the packet online just like everybody else from the Seed to Stone, went to Nightowl, ordered it. I kept that pack separate from my other Strawberry Milk and Cookies Remix, and I'm sure they're all from the same batch, but I just wanted to make sure the ones I ordered from the contest were the contest ones, and that was all that I used them for. And then over here we have the Amulet OG still hanging out. This plant's been weird, man. That cut on that leaf, like it did it to itself, which is really strange. And then it kind of self-topped, but it's growing. It's doing its thing. If you see the hole in the leaf on this one, that was me. I just did that when I was watering. And then I think for the future, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull these auto pots back from the back of the tent, probably like another 6 inches in here, so they can have a little more room in the back, because you can see that leaf's already pressed up against the back, and I don't especially like that. And then over here we're getting this container ready for the grow off. You can see there's some of the cover crops starting to come in, so that's kind of cool. We just sprinkled some on the top when we re-amended, and this one I re-amended with a ton of gypsum and Montana Grow and some crustacean meal. And I was really just trying to get that texture, you know, got to get that texture right. Because I've found the peat moss versus cocoa, peat moss like gets a much more muddy, wet texture when you water it. It can get kind of smash out the oxygen and get a little gross, where cocoa just holds on to water for as long as it can, then it lets it go. So it'll only go to a certain point. So I think I still like cocoa better. We'll find out. We're going to have a 15-gallon fabric pot in here and a 5-gallon fabric pot as well for the contest. With the hope, of course, being that these two plants are finished soon, you know, in the next month. So as those other ones get big, I can not have to worry about it, because I really want the plants for the grow off to shine. I've never done one before. I mean, this isn't like a traditional one. We're not sending in flowers. We're not getting potency tested. It's all going to be based off camera work and, you know, what the judges think. But whatever, I think it's going to be great. I'm just going to have fun with it. We're going to grow some autos. We grow autos anyway, so it's going to be a blast. But I thought it'd be cool to get its own series. So we're going to do the Seed to Stone Nightowl Growoff series. I'll probably just call it the Nightowl Growoff series. And we'll do that separate, so every week we'll get a check-in on those 3 plants. The auto pot, the 15-gallon, and the 5-gallon. And we'll just kind of go from there. But, you know, we got a lot going on right now. The flower tent's rocking. This veg tent's rocking. This plant right here is so ridiculously big. I mean, that might fill up the canitrol on its own. That's wild. It's such a good plant. I mean, I might have to go in and just try to strip some of those lowers again, because I think I left too many on. It's just, it got so big. And then this one over here, it's also going to turn into great smoke, and I can tell because ever since we fixed the feeding problem, it's just been trying to rage. So I'm excited. Should be a good month going into summer. We're going to have a couple fat harvests. Then we're going to do, you know, we're hoping to get 2 or 3 more grows in this year, so we'll go fast. But that's where we're at, everybody, this week. Arizona grows. I'll see you next week. Same grow time, same grow channel.